Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show. And yeah, it's another Seahawk Game Recap video. This time it's week five, the Seahawks versus the New York Giants. And man, it's another loss here, two in a row. And this one was more disappointing. This one was just a classic case, I believe, of playing down pure competition. I believe the Seahawks should have won this game, just with the talent we have on the roster. Without me rambling on too much more in the intro, let's get to recapping this week five matchup between the Seahawks and the New York Giants. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you'd like to see any more future Seahawks content from this channel, please consider subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Game summary: the Giants win 29 to the Seahawks 20. And let's start off with the Seattle Seahawks because they were the home team. The Seahawks had a total of 334 total yards, 232 passing yards, 102 rushing yards. They averaged 5.8 yards per play, had 18 first downs. They went 3 for 11 on third down. That's just not good enough. I'll get more into that a little bit later. They went 0 for 2 on fourth down. They had 58 total plays, 7 sacks allowed, 4 punts, 6 penalties for 30 yards given up, 1 fumble lost, no interceptions thrown, and the Seahawks ended off the day with 22 minutes and 38 seconds of possession time. For the New York Giants, they ended the day with 420 total yards, 245 passing yards, 175 rushing yards. They averaged 5.9 yards per play, 25 first downs. They went 7 for 16 on third down. They went 0 for 1 on fourth down. They had 71 total plays, 3 sacks allowed, 4 punts, 2 penalties for 20 yards given up, 1 fumble lost, no interceptions by Daniel Jones. And the New York Giants ended off the day with 37 minutes and 22 seconds of possession time. For Ryan's focus players, let's start off by talking about Geno Smith. 28 for 40 this game, 284 passing yards, 1 touchdown by Jackson Smith and Jigba, no interceptions, 4 carries for 72 yards, averaged 18 yards per carry with 0 touchdowns. And anyone saying that Geno is to blame for this loss for the Seahawks, I need to give your head a shake because I don't believe that Geno is to blame for this. What's to blame for this, in my opinion, is the O line and the defense, but we'll get to them in a minute. I think he could have played better. Sure, only throwing the 1 touchdown, that's a little bit, I would like to see another touchdown in there maybe, but he did what he could. The pocket was collapsing around him. He had to scramble. That's why he had 4 scrambles for 72 yards. When he's your leading rusher on the team, when a quarterback is your leading rusher, that's mainly a bad thing, and that mainly contributes to how bad your O line played in this game. So, all in all, I think Gino didn't have a great game, but he did what he could, and I think he needs to be commended for that. And let's get to the running back. Kenneth Walker, 5 carries, 19 yards, averaged 3.8 yards per carry, 7 receptions for 57 yards, averaged 8.1 yards per reception, and 0 touchdowns. And this right here is the problem. Kenneth Walker having 5 carries, unacceptable. 19 yards, unacceptable. Kenneth Walker thrives when he gets the majority of the carries, usually 15 to 20 carries a game, and he usually explodes for 100 and something yards. But considering how bad the O line played, giving up 7 sacks in this game, that's not great. They were using him in the passing game, Kenneth Walker, and that's how he got the majority of his usefulness in this game. So all in all, decent game from Kenneth Walker. Just wish that he could have got those rushing numbers up. But what are you going to do? The wide receiver, and I highlighted Tyler Lockett, 4 receptions, 75 yards, averaged 18.8 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. And I could have highlighted Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I decided to highlight Tyler Lockett because in this game, Gino was looking for him a lot, trying to get the ball to him because when he threw it to DK, DK again with another fumble in this game. That's back-to-back games where he's fighting for extra yards and he pops the ball out, and it just sucks that that happens at the worst moment. But Tyler Lockett, no, 10th year in the league, very reliable. Tried to do what he could to get this offense in rhythm. It wasn't enough in the end of the game. So, decent game from Tyler Lockett. Just wish that Gino and the rest of the offense could have gotten him the ball a little more. But let's get to the Seahawks defense and let's get to this D line and let's highlight Jaron Reed. One solo tackle, one assisted, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. And just like the Detroit Lions game on Monday Night Football, this D line really couldn't do much, but Jaron Reed, again, very much the guy that's trying to get in there, trying to stop the run. It's just really hard when you're getting beat up at the line of scrimmage. You really can't stop much of anything when you're getting beat up so bad. But I think for Jaron Reed, he did all he could. Not great on the stat sheet, but the whole defense didn't do that great. So an okay game from Jaron Reed. We just need to see more out of the run defense. The DB, and let's highlight Rashawn Jenkins, 3 solo tackles, 2 assisted, 0 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and the scoop and score for the first points of the game in the first half. I believe it was at 2 minutes and 4 seconds that he did at scoop and score, 102 yards on the return on a 4th and 1 play, and it was great. Rashawn Jenkins again doing what he can to help this Seahawks team. Um, you know, getting the first points and the only points of that first quarter for the Seahawks. He made some missed tackles here in this game, but I think he makes up with it for his touchdown scoop and score. So decent game for Rashawn Jenkins. Want to see more games like that and want to see the consistency from him a little more. But let's get to Jerome Baker, the linebacker, and thank God he was there in this game. 8 solo tackles, 6 assisted, 1 sack, no interceptions. And the reason why I thank God that he was in this game was due to the fact that the edges and this D line could not get pressure on Daniel Jones at all, like at all in this game. So glad he got the sack. Jerome Baker has always been a tackling machine. He's always been a guy on the interior of any linebacking core in the middle that can get in there when he's needed to and try and boost his team. Him and Terrell Dotson really played well, and it would have really sucked without him there. So hope he can stay healthy throughout the rest of the season. The Giants offense, let's talk about Daniel Jones, 23 for 34, 257 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 11 carries for 38 yards, averaged 3.5 yards per carry, and 0 touchdowns. And Daniel Jones had a really good game in the sense that he didn't really have to do much. There were times where he's just a field general at that point, taking what the defense gave him, and that leads them to victory over the Seahawks. He ran through a lot of tackles and made people miss when he needed to. When the Seahawks eventually got pressure, he was able to escape and run and break some tackles. So, good game from Daniel Jones, all things considered. And let's get to the running back and let's get to Tyron Tracy Jr., 18 carries, 129 yards, averaged 7.2 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. And Tracy Jr. just taking what is needed and what is given to him. Big holes enveloped by this Giants O line made it a very easy day for Tyron Tracy Jr. So a good game from this guy. Just wish he wouldn't have had a really good game against this Seahawks defense. The wide receiver, Darius Slayton, 8 receptions, 122 yards, averaged 15.2 yards per reception, had the one touchdown. And man, without Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver core of this Giants team needed to step up, and Darius Slayton did in a big way, gashing this Seahawks linebacking core and secondary with some, nice little routes across the middle. He got that 30-yard bomb to get that touchdown for the Giants and just led them to victory off the back of his good game. Let's get to the Giants defense and let's get to one of the main reasons why the Giants won this game. Dexter Lawrence on the D line, 2 solo tackles, 2 assisted tackles, 3 sacks, no forced fumbles. But man, this whole D line, 7 sacks in this game, ate up the Seahawks O line. And that's why it was so easy for Daniel Jones because the Giants defense did their job. Get pressure on Geno Smith, make him feel uncomfortable, stop the run, you win. That's just how it goes. A very good game from one of the best DTs in the business in the NFC in Dexter Lawrence the third. So good game from the entire defensive front of the New York Giants. Let's get to DB and let's get to safety. Tyler Nubin, as he had 7 solo tackles, 2 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. But this guy, I didn't know much about Tyler Nubin, but I realized that he was a safety. This guy, in there, making the tackles when needed, stopping the run, being able to cover off DK Metcalf, being able to cover off Jackson Smith-Njigba when needed, and making the tackles that is necessary so that the Seahawks don't gain as much yard after catch as they needed to make some of these first down plays. And he helped a lot on third down for them in this game. So good game from Tyler Nubin. And let's get to the linebacker. And I highlighted Brent Burns, man. 1 solo tackle, 1 assisted, the 1 sack, no interceptions. And I think people forget how good Brian Burns actually is. He was really good on the Panthers and he was a cornerstone for the Panthers. And he's kind of, trying to rebuild his image in this New York Giants system. And he did it today, getting the sack, doing what he needed to do off the edge to make this Seahawks team uncomfortable to get the win. Good game from linebacker Brian Burns. Ryan's final thoughts and what went well. Jenkins getting that fumble recovery, scoop and score. That's the only thing positive I could say about this team right now. I know that's a little dramatic and that's a little doom and gloom, but you know, it wasn't a great game. There's not much to talk about in this game. I think you can take away the fact that the Seahawks are still above 500 at the moment, 3-2. It is 3 games in the past 11 days because they have a Thursday night football matchup against the 49ers. But that's the only, good thing that went well for the Seahawks team was the scoop and score and some of the Jason Myers field goals. Sad that was blocked at the end to try and tie the game up. What to improve on? It sucks to lose like this. 7 sacks is just unacceptable. The whole O line needs to be embarrassed with the performance that they put on at home. And that's what really grinds my gears. That's why I sound like this. That's why I'm kind of downtrodden right now because it blows my mind that without an O line, you can't really do much. And when Kenneth Walker is limited as much as he is, when you're one dimensional, when you have to be one dimensional in the passing heavy offense, Giants just really didn't have to do much. They just had to blanket the field, and that's exactly what they did. And I believe we deserve to lose this one because our O line let us down. Jason Peters is signed to the team. I wouldn't be surprised if next game on Thursday night he comes in and plays for Stone Forsyth at the right tackle position. I would not be surprised at all. This is a heartbreaking loss to say the least. Hopefully the Seahawks can play better against the 49ers, but that's a really hard task. The 49ers are a really good team, and they've had the Seahawks number for a couple of years now. Hopefully, the team will show up against a divisional rival. This was supposed to be the bounce back game for the Seahawks to get back in the win column, but hopefully, we can bounce back against the 49ers. That's going to be a lot harder to do, in my opinion, though. As for the Giants, take your win and run with it. You guys just wanted this game more, it seemed, capitalizing off of mistakes and making it to 2-3 on the season. You're one game below 500, and see what you guys can do in week 6 because you guys played a pretty decent game here. You took advantage of the Seahawks' lack of a run defense and exploited it. So, good win for you guys. For the Seahawks, again, I gotta just I gotta just say, I know, I know that you're still above 500, 3-2 now. Hopefully, please, please, O-line, get better at making sure that Kenneth Walker can actually run the ball next game. Because if we're, again, a one dimensional team, that's just not going to be a very pleasant day. We kind of beat ourselves in this game. I don't want to see a loss like that again. You know, I like this team. I like how this team is built. It just sucks to lose in this fashion. I hope you enjoyed the Seahawks game recap. I apologize that it's a little doom and gloom, but I still do have faith in this team. We're still first in the NFC West. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How did you feel about this game, and how are you feeling about Thursday night football? That is it for this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next video for Thursday night football as the Seahawks take on the 49ers at home. Let's see if the Seahawks can make it to 4-2 on the season next week. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day, and go Hawks go.